This conference will now be recorded.
Hurst and Silas Hurst, and they'll be leading us in the prayer and the pledge. Roll call.
Commissioner Jennings,
Here.
Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Spielman,
Here.
Commissioner Warren,
Here.
Mayor Ginger.
Here. If you'd like to, stand with us to do the prayer and the pledge. Come on down. Yes.
Dear God, thank you for this day and for all the wonderful gifts you have given us. Thank you for our mayor and all of you. Please let this meeting bring satisfaction to everyone and bless our Kansas City. Amen.
Amen. Silas, come up and then pick the flag.
I pledge
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes. Thank you all for helping us. That was wonderful. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yes, so under consent agenda, on item 2, we need to add appointment of Kevin Turnus to the Student Awards Committee. And then we need to add an item 4 under consent agenda to a resolution authorizing the governing body of the city of Arkansas City, Kansas to agree to the consent and subordination of the city's taxable industrial revenue bonds series 2018-A. It's for Campac LLC, and to authorize the execution and delivery of documents related thereto. And then we need to add an item number 5 under consent agenda, and that would be to appoint city manager to work with ACI in accepting property.
All right. Do we have any comments from the commission? Okay, we need a motion
I move we accept the agenda
with the additions.
with the additions.
Okay,
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. Accept the additions to the agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So then we approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Recognition of visitors. We have Tom Wheatley.
Good evening all, Tom Wheatley, 711 South Forwood. I am here as a new planning commissioner, one of them. And but I was doing some research as we went to our economic development phase next week and did some research around the city. And first of all, word of thanks to everyone in the city. I mean, I saw progress here. I've only been here 7 years, but I've lived in other cities and efficiency is not really their mantra. I mean, secured a huge grant to do Summit, which is sorely needed. I mean, even so, your street sweeper doing its thing. Wilson Park has come along great. The pool's getting addressed, and it's great. But I found some other things that I just need some attention on. I think you'll see too. One of them, I have a few items. In the interest of time, I'll only bring up one. Is a real issue we have at 426 South Summit. Formerly known as the Townhouse Motel. It has a very checkered past, and well, it's notorious. I mean, how many times have PD been there and over the years? I mean, probably need a calculator. I don't know. But it served its purpose, had lodging when it was limited at the time, and it descended into crime rating. You look at it now, it looks like a Russian rocket hit it. And I've seen a lot of collateral damage. It's the same. It's wide open. It's now denigrated into a public safety hazard because there's no fencing around it. Nothing's blocked off. And it's a complete eyesore. The thing is, we're not talking about a dilapidated house and overgrown lawn. That's everywhere. It's going to happen. But this is on Summit. This is your main street. It's optics alone, it's the end of the parade of Arkalala. It needs to be raised. Eliminated from the plan. And tax roll wise, it was pulling in $7,954 on a prime 5th and Summit location. Anything we put there is going to bring in more revenue. And that's my thing with other items is why leave money on the table? Let's use what we got. Inflation's at an all-time high. You're going to hear a earful of people on taxes and mill levies. And well, let's use what we have and maximize what we already have been using. So I did some research, and the owner is missing in action. It's used HR Incorporated. It's now defunct from the state. The thing is, the city already condemned it. Mike did it last summer. And it's labeled from August 21st of last year. Now 7 months is just rotten. And it's just absolutely embarrassing. So I would hope we take action and we don't even need a demolition. The city's got the heavy equipment. Any questions on that? I can stay after and adjourn.
Mike, do you know if the taxes, if they pay the taxes on it, or do you know?
I haven't checked on that. I did talk to the property owner actually today, Asu, and he's looking for an electrician to get in there and start working on it. That's one of his holdups, trying to get an electrician because, excuse me, the local guys are just too busy to take care of it. So he's going to get somebody out of Wichita. The structure itself is pretty sound. There's not much wrong with it other than paint and the cosmetic stuff. It is secure. They've got the doors locked. The windows are open because they have to have ventilation in there, because if you don't, you're going to have mold and mildew grow. That's one reason why the windows are open. But he's planning on fixing it up and reopening it up and everything.
I know that it's been, a year or so ago when they ran everybody out because they wasn't paying their lease and stuff, and had all those beds, mattresses and everything piled up out there. I guess we're the ones that hauled away to where we are.
Yeah, all that stuff was hauled away, and Hasu, we hauled some of the trash away, the city did, but Hasu went ahead and had his men haul the rest of it out, like the mattresses and everything. It was, I think, last early spring, maybe, when we actually evicted everybody out of there. But
And the reason why we did that, because they wasn't paying their rents, was.
they just having everybody, they were having squatters come in.
Yeah.
And it just got way out of hand, and it got to the point that, it was a danger to society that way.
Yeah.
And they shut the utilities.
For me to be able to condemn a property, I have to have a just cause, which means it's got to be structurally unsound, and the property owner just won't work with us on it. The only way that we can do anything is put it down as abandonment, and that's one way that we can go about it.
That's the exact word I was going to use because it's been condemned already. And in my opinion, well, that's just an opinion. Go by and look for yourselves.
I go by there every morning. I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay. Everyone should see for themselves.
I drive by there 3 or 4 times a day too.
Everyone's used to looking at it now. That's the problem.
Can I get, I'm hearing condemn, not condemn, condemn, not condemned. Is it condemned? Is it?
Just because it's got an orange placard on it does not mean it's condemned. It just means it's unfit for human occupancy.
Okay.
Where does this come today?
Okay, so,
A picture of it.
okay, so from the staff perspective, I guess it technically is not condemned.
On the placards, what it says is that this property is unsafe or danger. It's unfit for human occupancy.
Okay,
And the placard can mean that it's condemned. It depends on how dilapidated the structure is.
okay. But the staff position is it's not
Not condemned.
condemned at this time. Okay,
If
just
he
so,
doesn't take action soon, then we'll go to the next step.
So then there's another step
Yep.
in the process before we get more aggressive. Okay.
Get a structural engineer involved in it and see if he can find anything wrong.
So-
As far as my perspective, it's still structurally sound.
I know on the south side of that, right against Border Company, on that wall over there, that look like to me, don't look very good,
That's all plywood and 2x4s. You're talking about where the old
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
used to be.
Yeah.
That is falling apart and everything, and he's going to address that supposedly.
Have you seen his plan then, or have you seen his plan?
No, he just talks to me verbally over the phone. He's been down here maybe 3 times along with his workers.
And how long, he's been,
Okay, I'm sorry. I can wait. I wanted in this whole, we see there's some perception or comprehension. There's a gap here. So is there something that we can do in terms of our placards that differentiates or distinguishes the difference between this is condemned or this right now is basically?
With a different placard that will state if the property is condemned. You can add that later on if you want to.
I'm just saying because it does, from the gentleman's perspective here, it does make the municipality look remiss if we're saying it's been condemned a year ago and we've not moved any further down the road with that. But our placard doesn't really mean condemned. It means that it's closed until improvements are made.
Correct.
Okay.
We could put 100 placards around there. There's no fence around it. It's open next to a public sidewalk. It's a safety hazard, period. No matter how many months or years it takes people to figure it out.
Here again, like I said, it's locked up and I don't see any safety in there. There's no windows that are broke out, ready to fall out or anything like that. That's why I got to go by.
Yeah. But I just want-
Do we have a time frame on the owner getting an electrician down here?
I've been working with him for probably a good 6-7 months on it.
Mhm.
And he's kind of went stale for about 4 or 5 months, about the last 4 months. And I contacted him a week and a half ago. Well, I was talking to you before. And that's when he's getting into the process of trying to get another electrician and then get a price on it. He's got 3 that's supposed to come down and meet with me next week, in fact.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Very good point. Do you have a script? Does staff have a script right now that can be invoked that basically says improvement in timely increments where we can say you're either doing it in this much time, because I could see where this could go on a bunch of, or do we need a tool that lets us say if we don't see progress in this much time, we have to advance it to the next step?
We do have.
Eric?
So, yeah, I can enforce it to whether I can set a time limit on it for him to get it taken care of. But I'm a firm believer with trying to work with people to get to whether they can fix the property up and get it back onto the tax roll to whether it's going to be a higher tax. But now here again, there's people that I've talked to for a couple of years and they haven't done anything. And finally, we have to put our foot down to say, you got to do it by this date or we're going to take the next step. And here again, to make them to tear the property down on their money is awful hard to do. And something like that would be a big burden on the city to be able to have to tear that building down.
Larry, about to share something.
I would just say you can't tear it down just because you want to, just because it's unsightly. I mean, I agree with you. I drive by at a personal level. I drive by and I'm thinking I'd go tear the thing down myself. But you got to understand, I mean, people have rights in their property and part of that rights, they don't always have to look very good. There are some things you can do about that to improve that. But when you're talking about tearing something down, then there's a process you have to go through and structurally you have to follow those.
But being on Summit, there's a higher standard here. This is not in the back building. We have to understand public safety's got to come before owner availability. So anyway, I've had enough.
Thank you.
Thank you for the research you've done.
All right, thank you.
Can I, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Could you give us what our parameters are in terms of, or can we in some way convey a message of let's lean a little more rather than being lenient with that? What?
City manager?
Yeah, but I think we're kind of hearing the message here that we need to put some pressure on it and not give them too much more leeway. It's not like they've had quite a bit of leeway now, so.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, as I went to doctor visits and dentist visits at the AC office building. And I know how much leaning and waiting we've done for some action on the AC office building right up the street. We've leaned and waited a long, what, about 4 decades now or 5
Well, it's getting to
decades?
the point now that we're gonna have to do something down the road because that's getting to be a hazard too, so.
So yeah, not pulling us to that building. I'm just saying sometimes leniency just doesn't, sometimes gruff
Yep.
gets more attention than.
I'd be curious to see if the taxes are paid on that. I mean,
I'll find out.
All right. Any further comments on that? Okay, thank you. Does anyone in the audience have anything that's not on the agenda they wanted to talk about? Okay. Bonds, he signed up, but do you want to wait that?
Who's that now?
Larry signed up on the bonds.
Yeah, sorry, I missed out. I didn't
You're fine.
sign up. Yeah, I'll get it later.
Yeah, he'll be here to answer any questions on the bond.
Okay. So we're down to the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as added to.
So we have the approval of the regular minutes, ratifying the appointment of Richard Brown to the building trades, Tom Wheatley to the historical preservation, reappointments of John Baruth, Mark Bartlett, Michael Hunt, and Mike Kuhn to the building trades board, Tammy Lane Henderson and Iris Turner to the outstanding student committee. We're also adding Kevin Turnus. Joni Spicer to the Planning Commission, Mary Benton and Cody Richardson to the Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals. Does anyone have any further discussion? Motion? Motion?
Oh, I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify with aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. New business?
Consider first reading of an ordinance approving the form of and authorizing the execution of an interlocal cooperation agreement respecting certain T-hanger improvements at Stroller Airport and Field Park.
Yeah, so if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you want, yeah. Larry cleaned up the brains to come up with the advisor. This item and a few items further down the agenda are kind of related, and then we're helping Stroller do some financing of some of the projects, which I think is kind of historically how it's done. Park City and Winfield kind of pass the baton back and forth to help finance. And together they enter into interlocal agreements. Whereas if the Stroller Field Commission doesn't pay the bonds, then the two cities together are responsible for paying them. And there are a couple projects right now. The T-hanger improvement, Winfield is going to finance. Further down the agenda after bid, I'll talk about City of Arc City will finance the warehouse facility. This ordinance is to the interlocal agreement with Winfield to help support their financing of the T-hanger project. And so it'll obligate you to have Stroller doesn't pay the bill on the bonds.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
No,
City manager, you have any comments?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the authorizing the execution of the interlocal cooperative agreement respecting certain T-hangers improvements at Stroller Field Airport Industrial Park.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify, oh, sorry.
Commissioner Jennings,
Aye.
Commissioner Spillman,
Aye.
Commissioner Warren,
Aye.
Mayor Ginger.
Aye. Item 2.
Consider first reading of an ordinance accepting the application of KSA 41-719D to allow the sale and consumption of alcoholic liquor at a designated area of Wilson Park during the 2022 Takalala Festival from 4 to 10 p.m. Saturday, May 7th, 2022.
Did y'all have anything you wanted to say about it? No? Okay, commissioners, do you have any questions?
It's gonna be similar as it was last year, right?
That is correct. Alcohol will be running at Beer Garden within the designated red area that's up on the map. We will have
I'm sorry.
We will have wristbands that will be given to each person as they come up to the bar, and that will be monitored with a police force around that red area. So
Any additional questions?
Not really. I'd make a motion, we approve the sale of consumption of alcohol liquor at the designated area of Wilson Park during the 2022 Takalala Festival from 4 to 10 p.m. on Saturday, May the 7th, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Commissioner Jennings,
Nay.
Commissioner Spielman,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Ginger.
Yes. Motion carries. Resolutions for consideration.
Consider a resolution approving a recommendation of the Arkansas City Beautification and Tree Advisory Board to initiate an adoption contract for 1 year with the Arkansas City Public Library for a Stroller walk in Lovey Watson Park located at 614 West Birch Avenue.
We learned in our work session that library would be responsible for changing out the books.
Yes. Yep, I think they change them out once a month. Keep them fresh that way. And
Okay. Commission, do you have any questions?
No, I think it's a good idea. It's something different and see if it works.
Okay.
I move we approve the resolution for the Ark City Beautification and Tree Advisory Board to initiate an adoption contract for 1 year with the Arkansas City Public Library for a story walk in Lovey Watson Park located at 614 West Birch Avenue in Arkansas City.
Second that.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The April 5th is the next one. Item 2.
Consider a resolution approving a recommendation of the Arkansas City Beautification and Tree Advisory Board to initiate an adoption contract for 1 year with the Friends of Wilson Park, the old fountain in the Docking Memorial Garden at Wilson Park, located at 701 North Summit Street.
And I would like to table this until April 5th.
I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we will table item 2. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 3.
Consider a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a lease purchase agreement to finance the purchase of a 2021 Bravo 5i series street sweeper.
So tonight we just need to pass the resolution that authorizes Randy to enter into the lease purchase agreement with Community National Bank here in our city. As you know, it was delivered late last week and it is.
They already used it.
We are prepared to close on this lease tomorrow if this is approved tonight, and we are proposing the 3-year annual lease, the interest rate of 1.8.
How much was that extra extension on the lease?
It was about $1,500.
Okay, that's pretty cheap.
Figure 3 year, yeah. it just allows us a little bit extra flexibility in our cash flow because of the projects we're committed to on Summit. So.
Okay. All right. We've nurtured this puppy down the road a ways. I would move that we authorize approve resolution authorizing city manager to execute a lease purchase agreement to finance the purchase of a 2021 RAB 051. Did I say that right?
Actually, 5I.
5I. See, I struggled with that. Series street sweeper.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion, commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Other items for consideration.
So the next item is the Stroller Field Warehouse Facility Improvements. It has 3 components and each one will require a separate vote.
Okay,
So the first one will be consider an ordinance approving the form of an execution of an interlocal cooperation agreement respecting certain warehouse facility improvements at Stroller Field Airport Industrial Park.
And basically, that's what we have to do and what Winfield has to do, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
this
just
is the second project.
yeah, we alternate them.
The warehouse facility, and the plan here is for the city of Arc City to finance the warehouse. And the first item, the ordinance is Winfield agrees to enter into an agreement with you. If Strother doesn't pay the bill, then you guys will share the payment of the bond. So the intent is, of course, that Strother will pay the bond. Looking at a 15-year bond. I'll just touch on the other 2 items real quickly. But item B is then use the city approve a resolution to complete this project. And item C is to issue bonds to pay for the project. The plan is we'll issue the bonds. We'll have the bond sale next month. And I'll be back here at that time, at which point you can approve best bid. And the plan again is, of course, Stroller Field will finance for all the debt service on these bonds.
Thank you. Commission, any questions?
Not really.
I need a motion.
I make a motion, we consider the ordinance approving the form of authorizing the execution of the interlocal cooperative agreement respecting certain warehouse facility improvements at Stroller Field Airport / Industrial Park.
Have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion, commission? It's a roll call.
Commissioner Jennings,
Aye.
Commissioner Spillman,
Aye.
Commissioner Warren,
Aye.
Mayor Davis.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Next item is consider a resolution authorizing and providing for the construction of a new public building and providing for the payment of the costs thereof.
Again, I'll make the motion, consider a resolution authorizing and providing for the construction of a new public building, providing for the payment of the cost thereof.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion from the commission?
Madam Mayor, I'd like for the gentleman to come back and redo his whole discourse on that. No, I'm sorry.
Hearing none. All in favor signify with aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. C.
Consider a resolution authorizing the offering for sale of taxable general obligation bonds, Series 2022 of the city of Arkansas City, Kansas.
Good. You're on a roll.
All right, I'll make the motion, we consider the resolution authorizing the offering of the sale of taxable general obligation bonds, Series 2022 of the city of Arkansas City.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the commission? All in favor signify with aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Staff reports presentation, city manager.
Okay, I just want to remind you that there is the Arkansas City Chamber of Commerce banquet this Saturday night from 5 to 10 p.m. and we have a table. So anybody wants to go, please let me know. If not, I'll try to see if any staff wants to help fill the table up. So, but then we have a study session scheduled for Friday, April 1st. in my office. And then Cali County Legislative Forum will be held at April 5th, 6 p.m. over at Baden Square in Winfield. And that's all I have.
Executive session.
Oh, that, we don't have one.
Legislative forum.
That is at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, April 5th.
Can we just schedule something for April 5th?
First,
It was, what was it?
city session's April 1st.
Yeah, that's our work session though.
We have the meeting April 5th and we have the legislative session.
Catch it.
Yeah, that's the county legislative forum. So yeah, it does fall on the same night as our commission meeting. So we can keep it short if you want to go.
Hey, anything further to come before the commission?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor signify with aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you.